The FIFA Club World Cup is currently underway in the United States of America. We have seen each team at least once. The second round of matches began yesterday and then will continue today. And I don't know you out there whether you have a different thought about who do you think are favorite to win this particular competition. The pre-tournament favorites, well, perform well. Some of them perform well in their first match. Then in the second round, PSG, for instance, yesterday shocked everyone by conceding a goal against their opponent. So far, if you look at the standings in the various group, in Group A, we know that Palmeiras are one of the teams that a lot of people are tipping to go through from their group. They have 4 points now. Inter Miami also yesterday by Vitor Messi's super free kick. They also have 4 points now in their group. Then you look at the other teams there, the rest of the teams actually have Porto has 1 point, and Alali, the African refs, also have a point there. In Group B, very interesting actually. Barak was of the view that this team, they've sold most of their players. That's Botafogo. They've sold most of their players, but they won 2 of their matches, and then you can say they are already through to the next round of the competition. 6 points. PSG, surprisingly, the European champions, yesterday lost to Portugal. And then the guy who scored the goal, Ico Jesus, is a guy who likes scoring against these big teams. He scored a long goal for them. So PSG has 3 points there. Atletico Madrid also with 3 points, and then Settle. They have no point there. So it is. You can say that PSG have their last game against the bottom place team, obviously. So they should be able to win that to qualify. But the game between Botafogo and Atletico Madrid is going to be a very interesting game indeed in the coming days. Now, in Group C, you can also see that Bayern Munich, they will be playing later on their second round, but they started convincingly with that 10-0 win against their opponents. That is the team that is more or less like an amateur team. They are not playing professional football. Most of them are workers, teachers, prison officers, security services that have come together to represent the team from Australia. And remarkably, most of them didn't even get leave. They have to take annual leave to be able to come and compete in this particular competition, and it shows clearly over there. We're looking forward to seeing what they will do against Benfica. Boca Juniors also have 1 point after their draw with Benfica also. So that is good for you in Group C. If you look at Group D, Flamengo is one of the teams that people are thinking that if there's any South American team that will go far in the competition, they'll be there. So they have 3 points. Chelsea also won their first match. They have 3 points now. Then that comes to today's game between Chelsea and Flamengo. It looks like the winner takes all. If you win, you qualify from your group already. Then Los Angeles, they're one of the home teams, are also there without a point, and Esperance Tunis from Tunisia, of course, African rep, also without a point there. They need to also try to get points against the American side. That actually showed some kind of promise against Chelsea. If you look at Group E, also that is why we have River Plate. They have also got their first 3 points, and then the the Mexican team Montreal has only 1 point. Inter, surprisingly, drew their match against all odds. A lot of people thought that Inter, having played in the European Champions League finals, could do something against this particular club, but they were held to a 1-1 draw, thereby fetching some sun, plenty of sun put into people's small Gary. That didn't actually go well for a lot of people out there, and then that is how it goes. So if you look at the other groups as well, you can say that Mamelodi Sundowns also did well, winning their first match. That is very good for them. Borussia Dortmund were held to a 1-1 0-0 draw and with Fluminense, and that is where you actually saw former Chelsea defender also doing very well for them. Deco Silva doing very well in that particular game as well. Then you look at Group G, Juventus, of course, they won their first match convincingly. Manchester City also did likewise. They have also won. So yes, in group. They are in group. They are in group each with Real Madrid. Real Madrid failed to actually win their match. And so they have 3 points. In terms, Real Madrid with 1. Yeah. Then Al Hilal also with 1 point. Yes, so it is very, very difficult now for Real Madrid. And it looks like a lot of pressure is coming on Jebel. So that's why we're going to start with our review and preview of this particular unprecedented World Cup, the expanded form of the FIFA Club World Cup. If you look at Real Madrid, what will you say went wrong for them? Well, of course, this is just the beginning of the first competitive match for Xabi Alonso, but it looks like people are not convinced with what he wants to do for Real Madrid.
Thank you very much. I want to rather concentrate on the performance of the Brazilian teams.
Okay.
I think the Brazilian teams have impressed me so much, and Bala did not miss words when he said that the Brazilian, we should watch out for some of them. And indeed, when you look at the groups that they are in, out of the 4 teams that are representing Brazil or that are from Brazil, 3 of them are on top of their group. So we have Palmeiras in Group A, they are on top with 4 points. Then we have Botafogo, which beat PSG, the European giant, yesterday, having 6 points in their group. Then Flamengo, which is in Group D, also top in the group. They have Fluminense, who are third and also in the group. So you can see that the Brazilian team, they have played South American let me just say the South American. They have played 6 matches in all, and they have won 4, drawn 2, and lost none. None of the Brazilian team is here to lose a game, and that is for me remarkable. And also good to speak how the infrastructure gap, the quality gap, the managerial gap between we the Africans and the Europeans and then the Americans. Because if you look at it, the Americans are able to rest shoulders or they are able to challenge the Europeans more. But with the Africans, we just go and lie low for the Europeans. And I think that for me, I am much impressed about the performance of the Brazilian team so far in this particular tournament.
Another team's performance that actually ignited some debate across social media is Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia. In 2014, Ronaldo said that the kind of players that have not come to the Saudi Pro League, it looks like any of the Saudi teams will be able to compete favorably with any team from Europe, and that was a masterclass performance from Al Hilal. Will you give them credit for that performance they put up, or it is actually the Real Madrid team that failed to actually perform well?
Real Madrid is Real Madrid. Even the fear factor alone could deter this team from not doing well. So we shouldn't take their credit away from it. I think they played very well. Not only did they get the draw, but they outplayed, for me, they outplayed, what is the name? Real Madrid. And even with a player coming from Al Hilal being given man of the match in that particular match, for me, is remarkable. They did very well.
So now Real Madrid looks like they will find it difficult to win games without Mbappe. Yesterday, we understand he has been admitted at a hospital for some illness, which means that it's not even, I'm not even sure at dawn he'll be able to play Real Madrid's next game. Therefore, the coach have to find a way of getting somebody to score goals for Real Madrid.
Obviously, he has to, because Real Madrid is Real Madrid, and Real Madrid usually sometimes start tournaments slowly, but comes to the party along the way. So I think that Real Madrid will still be able to figure it out, because they are experienced enough with an experienced manager, a serial winner. They should be able to figure their way out and come back into the competition. Looking at the teams that are left for them, they still have Salzburg to play. They still have the other team, which I've forgotten, the Panka or something like that. They still have, they should be able to manage their way. They should be able to meander their way through the group, and then they should be able to come out.
They should be able to come out of that group. That is for Real Madrid. Now, a lot of people actually stated categorically that PSG are overwhelming favorite for the Falco competition. But this dawn, we saw that from nowhere, they also lost their second match. Is this something that will make people rethink, or of course they are still favorites?
Oh, of course they are still favorites, because even if you look at PSG this particular season, the Champions League, they were not one of the automatic qualifiers. They have to go through the playoff for them to be able to come into the knockout stage, and yet they went ahead to win the competition. So it is one of the shockers that will come in, but I think PSG will still be able, because if you look at their starting 11, that was not the actual starting 11 that they used to face any bigger opposition. Because they are aware that they can still be able to meander their way through the group with that heavy win against Atletico Madrid. I mean, their last match, they should be able to get the maximum point and then qualify from there.
Well, one of the things I have seen extraordinary about this FIFA Club World Cup is the way they introduce the players onto the field of play, as if it is an NBA when they're playing their basketball, how they introduce the players one after the other. This time that's been introduced. Will you want to see this replicated in other leagues, for instance, in the Premier League?
This is a new, though the FIFA Club World Cup is not new, but looking at this as well, this is a new, so they are trying to inject things that will attract people, that will ignite the passion, and that will give people the needed attention to that. So They are trying to add some pieces together to make it a very rich competition that people want to enjoy.
Romeo Lagbe of Chelsea, for instance, said he loved that thing and he want to see that in the Premier League as well. You'll be the only one coming out and your name is being mentioned, echoed around the stadium, and you come out, the fans will appropriately actually applaud you whilst you step onto the pitch of play.
Obviously, you see, usually when the players are grouped, there are few individuals players who get all the attention. But if they are being introduced one after the other, at least everybody gets his or her own share of the hand clap.
Is there another issue that you want to comment about the FIFA Club World Cup?
Yeah, obviously we're looking at Inter Miami possibly meeting PSG, depending on who topped their group and who is second, which is still possible because Inter Miami, they are second in their group. PSG are also second, and so we are looking to see possibly PSG still meeting Inter Miami in that particular.
That is the issue with the football fans. They are usually greedy. They are very, very selfish. They want to see PSG taking on Inter Miami, Messi facing his former side again. It is one of the standout features a lot of people are looking forward to. We will come your way again with another edition of this FIFA World Club series. And until then, please do like the video, share it, and also comment. Let's get interactive. Be an active follower of us, not a passive one at all. Thanks a lot for watching.
How many minutes? You didn't indicate to that 11.
You cannot even stop.